What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi, and welcome to the 9th day of Ramadan. And I wanted to speak today because Ramadan represents the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. I was going to speak on the first day of Ramadan, but obviously that was not the will of Allah. So here we are. Let me see if anybody is here. Shiro, perfect. You're the person. You're one of the main ones. There was a few of you guys that were asking for this, but you were the standout. So I'm so glad you're here because in my last stream I was going to go into Ramadan, and I said no because there were some people that expressed interest, and I wanted to try to come at a time when I thought it would be most likely that they will be able to be a part of it. So Allahu Akbar, you're here. You see? You see how Allah works? You see? Let me read the comments now. Hello, handsome king. I've been waiting for you. Thumbs up, yes. Thumbs up, everybody. Thumbs up. You guys are doing a good job already. I don't have to yell at anybody. Cass, so good to see you. You have been in my constant prayers. By Allah, I swear that. You've been in my constant prayers. Constant. Okay, yeah, that was earlier. I hadn't said anything yet. But you guys can all hear me now, though, right? Wa alaikum salam, Aziza. And Ramadan Kareem. Can everybody hear me now? Yeah, well, I guess you can because Cash just answered my comment to her. So I presume you guys can all hear me now. Obviously, my kufi cannot hear me because it is all over the place. I want to start. Blessings back to you, Cass. I want to start you all with I think it was on this one. I want to read you something. This was from I tell you guys, I'm always shout out to Yoda, just random. Shout out to Yoda. I always tell you all, you know, whenever I do recorded videos, and I remind everybody who can hear me and see me right now, remember to hit the thumbs up button. We got 2 people that need to hit the like button. 2 people. Now there's one more needs to hit the like button. If you're hearing and seeing me, you need to hit the like button so that we can expand our reach. More people, because the algorithm, they know that however the video is advertised. Anyways, more people get to know that we're here. All right. So do thumbs up. You know, I always tell you all, before I get into the main topic, I want to say this. Whenever I do recorded videos, Allahu Akbar, all knowledge is with Allah. Whenever I do recorded videos, you see that I have in my opener, I say, and now with his divine gifts from God and channeling the wisdom of the ancestors, the Jedi speaks. That is yet again, as with everything that I do in my life, anything that I do must have meaning for me. It can't be just random or trendy. Everything that I do in my life has purpose and meaning and has my signature on it, if you will. It reflects my life in some sort of a way, or just me in general. And in that statement, I'm conveying to you where whatever it is I'm going to communicate to you, where that's coming from. That I'm immediately casting myself as a student and an inheritor of those who came before me. I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. So, with that knowledge, and also, as you know, I always only ever speak directly from my heart. Whenever you hear me or see me speak, whatever I'm saying it right then. I don't have any rehearsed or prepared remarks. It's whatever is in the energy field at that moment, that's what's going to come. And that's what we're all going to experience. So I'm always floored and humbled, really, when over the years, people have had deep, profound, heartwarming things they've said to me about the effect of my work on their life. That I've had people say to me, I hear your voice in my head, Jedi, when I'm doing whatever and whatever, or I'll be faced with a situation. I say, what would the Jedi say right here? Those types of things are very humbling. And when people say to me, because you, Jedi, I'm now doing this, or I'm doing that, or because you, I'm no longer Christian, or I'm no longer, whatever, or I have a different perspective, or you taught me something I didn't know. The list goes on and on and on. I never get used to hearing that, because I only know me. So I don't have any sway, really. I can't predict or control how my message lands on anyone who's hearing or seeing me. My task, my responsibility is to, first of all, tell the truth. That's first. And then next to that would be to don't try to be a know-it-all. I only convey what I know and what is given to me and what I'm allowed to know. That I'm very careful with my audience. If I don't know something, I just tell you, I don't know that. I don't know, or I need to educate myself. Or somebody send me something. Somebody tell me this. Does somebody else know this? What is it? Anytime I'm speaking in life, I'm either sharing knowledge or I'm gathering knowledge. That's it. There's no time to just be random, just flapping. You're either sharing or you're learning. And I will tell you, vet your sources. So I was deeply touched when Corindal Sadiq, if you are watching now, and I'm over on another video so I can read the comments, so I'm not on this stream right now. I'll come back over there. First of all, it pierced my heart and it brought me to tears. And as I said, when I typed him a message back, is it on here? I'll type you what I said to him. Just a second. I'll type you what I said to him. I said, Corindal, I did not want to type this comment to you because I felt it did not do it proper justice. That indeed my words needed to go from my mouth to your ears. So Please be listening for my next live stream so that I can speak to you directly. In the meantime, know that your words penetrated my heart and brought me to tears, just what I just said. All my love to you, and I look forward to speaking the pure words that the universe will give me at that time to speak to you directly from my heart in my next live stream. Until then. So I will read you what Corindo typed to me, and then I will respond. This was on my video that I did when I was in bed. What's the title of that video? Message from the Bed of the Jedi. Alright, fine. So Corindo said to me, I'm so happy for you. Last year your donations were slow. Oh, because I in that video I was giving you guys the updated numbers on the campaign, both the GoFundMe and the Cash App. So just to give you context, he says, I'm so happy for you. Last year your donations were slow compared to your number of viewers. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing. That is very good news. I'm glad to know you are letting the money collect for your move. That is wise. I also wanted to leave this country after my spouse passed. I can't because I was criminally charged with something I didn't do during a traffic stop 15 years ago. Even though it is not a serious felony, countries are strict when you want to go immigrate. I had finished grad school only 2 years previously. I had a new job, a new fiance, and in an instant, everything I had worked so hard to build and loved was taken away. Thank you for your prayers and your gentle voice. I've been depressed, and you lifted my spirit. That was like the final it. You know, I back when I had my big channel, you guys, my nephew and I used to, sometimes we'd be talking on the phone or we'd be Skyping, and maybe I just released a video or I was looking through comments while we were on or something, and I'm just sort of, and sometimes I would just share comments with him and stuff like that, and he will tell you, well, anybody that knows me will tell you, it's an out-of-body experience, because I am such an humble person, and it's like, oh, that's nice what they said about that guy. You know, it's not like it's me, you know. So I was deeply touched by that because, you know, for him to be in the place that he was in and everything that he laid out in the comment, while still expressing his joy for what's happening for me, he was still able to share his own pain, and then to say, I've been depressed and you lifted my spirit. You know, there's a pathology, because in that video, that was what, the second or third day of Ramadan, and I was very weak. Maybe it was the first, maybe it was the second day, I don't remember. But I almost didn't do that video. And last minute I thought, well, I can do it from bed, because my sense of how I can do videos is off, since I don't have my computer and I don't have internet. I don't think about, my whole setup was different. So if I would be in bed and I felt something, I could just do it right then and there. But this was a conscious, okay, you need to now set up your thing in your bed so you can do this, you know. And I almost went live with that, you know. Last minute I decided not to, and whatever, but my point is just that here was a video I wasn't even going to do, and that had that effect on someone, you know. That means so much to me. And Corindo, if you're listening now, which let me get back over to the video we're on right now, I want to say to you, first of all, I don't know what your legal situation was, and you're expressing about wanting to leave the country. One thing I need you to know that I have learned in the years that I've been preparing for my move to West Africa is that not just Ghana, but a lot of countries in Africa particularly recognize that we live under the foot heel of the white devil, and they understand that many of us have been saddled with records and charges and things like that, and you are not precluded from immigrating to an African country. I can't speak for any place else on the earth, but I know what I'm talking about as it relates to Africa. Many, if not most, of the countries in Africa, certainly Ghana, and has a policy where they just look at what was the situation. You know, if it's not something heinous or something like that, they're very forgiving. You see, America is the place on earth that wants to lock you up for even chewing bubble gum. 20 years chewing bubble gum. 20 years, you see. But I always tell you guys, this is not humanity. So just what Corindo's expressing there is steeped in a perception that would only be given by this being in this environment. That it's not even possible to imagine that there's a whole different set of moral principles and responses to things outside of these borders. So yes, you can go to, I say absolutely you can go to an African country. I don't even need to know the details of what went on. Because as I've said, they absolutely look at case by case, and they say, what was going on here? Because something that may be terrible here is not terrible there. You know what I mean? And you said in your piece that it wasn't a felony, so you're good to go. You can still move to Africa at the very least. I don't know what to tell you about any place else. All right? I'm only speaking for Africa. And I'm qualified to do that. I know what I'm talking about. And you know, I think also if you guys go back and watch that video, one of the things that I was saying in it, because again, I will tell you guys, I speak just right now. So after I read Corindo's comment, I was like, I need to go back and watch my video. What did I say? What did I say? Because I'm speaking from the heart. It's like if I was, it's just how I am in my life. So this is a perfect example to describe that. So I had to go back and look at my own video and go, well, what provoked that? What did I say? And what I said was, towards the end of the video, I was talking about the medical workers and imploring my people to let us all make prayers for them and hold them up, etc., etc. And then I quoted the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the Quran, I'm sorry, where the Quran says, "Inna lillah wa inna alayhi raja'un." From Allah, to Allah we belong, and it is to Him that we return. And so that gave Corindo some solace over his world of everything that was going on, that we can perceive from the comment that was left. And so I'm deeply honored, Corindo, and I pray Allah that my words in this video now will have will give you comfort and peace, you know. And something you said a traffic stop 15 years ago. So I don't know how old you are, and you said and you said even though it wasn't a serious felony, countries are strict when you want to immigrate. As I articulated, Africa is not like that. Certainly Ghana is not like that. And most African countries that I have even looked at, every single Senegal, um, Nigeria, um, Kenya, uh, Ghana, obviously, the Congo, the Gambia. There's a few of them that I can name directly. Ethiopia. They're not tripping because they understand, especially when it comes to us, because they understand what we're dealing with and what we're coming from. You know? So if you're serious about getting out of this country, maybe you might be on the plane with me. It could happen. It could happen. So let me go back over to the current video. Now, I'm going to be mindful of my time in this piece, everybody, as much as I can. I wanted to speak. And can I just say that, you know, before I go live, it gives you the option of the thing will do a thing for a thumbnail, or it gives you an opportunity to load up a thumbnail that you take. And either way, I come out looking jacked up. And so I'm just over these 3D thumbnails that are like right here. I can't. That I'm over. I'm over that. Anyways, it's not important, Jedi. It's not important. Let me get shout out people that are new. That since I just went over to the old video and came back over here, and then I want to get into the information. Shout out to Betsy. Jada, Allahu Akbar. Wallahi, you're on my mind constantly. In different ways, your energy visits my universe. And wallahi, I just was thinking about you yesterday. I said, I need to call Jada. And the universe already told me what I was going to say to you. I was going to say, Jada, I hear the numbers are kind of tough up there. How are you doing? You know, with this corona going on, what's going on, you know. So I'm so glad to see you. Allahu Akbar. Okay, Shiro can hear me now. Ray Supreme, Rahim Allah, so good to see you, brother. Zaneb Usman, Walaikum Salam, Ramadan Mubarak. Kiara, so good to see you, my sister. Says, wish I could stay, but I gotta run. I'll leave you a thumbs up, though. Thank you, Kiara. And hopefully, inshallah, you'll see this. Now you're seeing this later. Like the magic of time. Boom. Now you're back and you're watching the recorded video. Shout out to you. Andrea Smith, shout out to you. So, in previous years, you guys, I have even... Ramadan, it represents the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. And it moves each year based on the moon cycle. So that over your lifetime, you are fasting in the summer or the spring, or the fall, the winter, the fall, the winter, the spring, and the summer. So the last 4 Ramadans, 3, it's been in the summertime or when it's starting to get hot, you know. So this one's not as bad because, alas, this is just, we're going into May. So we'll be done in May. We're in May, we'll be done towards the end of May. But when you're in June, July, and August, it is jihad. I need you to know that. So, but over your lifetime, you're literally fasting in every single season and climate that there is. Period. Now, Ramadan, first of all, it is known by several things. It is known as the month of the Quran. It is known as the month of fasting. And why it's known as the month of the Quran is because all revelation that was sent down to mankind, the Torah, the Injil, which doesn't exist on the earth anymore, which was the uh, uh, revelation that Allah sent. I don't want to get that deep, but anyways, the Quran, or the Torah, the Injil, and the Quran, all revelation that Allah has ever sent down, and He's only been sending out one message to mankind, one way of life, one God, one way of life, one God, one creation, one message. That's it. So the Quran, speaking specifically, was revealed over the course of 23 years, but parts always came down with the angel Jibril, which you all call Gabriel, which is not correct, was always in the month of Ramadan. Then, in the last 10 days of Ramadan, you have what is known as Laylatul Qadr, which is the night of power. That's not really, that's just the lazy way to translate it for you. But those last 10 days, and nobody knows what night it is. But usually, outside of a pandemic, in the last 10 days of Ramadan, the men do not leave the mosque. Those who choose to do it. You don't leave the mosque for 10 days. You're in constant prayer for 10 days. Because Allah has said, whatever you ask, He will grant. It is the truth, everybody. I've been Muslim my whole life. I can tell you it is the truth. So, but obviously Allah doesn't reveal the day, because then everybody would just try and cram on that day, you know. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself to even mention the last 10 days, because Ramadan represents a resetting of your life, your spiritual center, you know. It is the one thing that the Creator allows mankind to do for Him and rewards you for it. So, I remind you that Allah doesn't need anything from us at all. At all. Nothing. Especially when you see the Christian folks, God loved them with their love offerings, and everything centers around money, and you think you got to give God money, and God doesn't need a thing from you at all. But you need everything from Him, including your next breath. You need that. But here it is, the one thing Allah allows you to do, and He will give you the blessing for it. So, when you fast the full month of Ramadan, all of your sins are wiped out. It's a total resetting. Remember, Allah keeps His word. And those of us who are His servants can testify to this. For those of you who are not Muslim and have a whole different understanding about way of life, this will just sound like I don't know what to you. I pray Allah will give you dissertation and understanding and intellectual curiosity so that you can go and learn for yourself. You know? This is not some fantasy I'm talking about. This is just like telling you my skin is melanated. I can testify because I have the evidence. I just do. So imagine you walk into a banking institution and they go, yeah, you know, we'll if you open up an account with us, we'll get you a new Bentley. You see? So you go, I think I'll open up an account with them. They're giving me something. You know, why are y'all giving me that? I'm giving you my money, but you're the bank. You're worth trillions. Plus you got the FDIC. You don't really need me. But they're giving you something. So this is a lowly way to explain something that is beyond description. And that is the mercy and magnitude of Allah. So therefore, Ramadan is the time when you can get it right again. All Muslims will tell you that we're excited when Ramadan comes and we're sad when it leaves, and we pray Allah we live to see the next one. Because there is no perfect human being. Excuse me. There is no perfect human being. Certainly there's not a perfect Muslim. But this is your daily jihad, is the mastery of self. And what Ramadan serves to do is to strengthen and to build self-restraint, self-control, self-discipline. Because it's not just about fasting. So that before Ramadan begins, you make niyyah, or intention, of to fast the holy month. All right? Then, each day of Ramadan, you read a 30th of the Quran. That's why I always say to you, Muslims, we know our book. All right? So you read a 30th of the Quran. Nothing crosses you. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so before you start fasting, normally we're up for the first prayer of the day, which is Fajr, which is before the sun comes up. Before the first ray of sun hits the earth, you need to have prayed Fajr. But during Ramadan, you got to be up before that because you have to do what is known as suhoor. Suhoor is when you take food before the prayer, before Fajr. Now, you can't pig out because you're going to be fasting all day. No, because then now your fast is not accepted. I always tell you, anything of great value requires great sacrifice, everybody. And this is one of the things that we see manifested in the very structure of the way Allah has laid out this holy month. There's great reward. But you got to really be on your P's and Q's to get that reward, you know? So you'll see that as, inshallah, if I describe this properly, you'll go, wow, I really do see that now. So let me try. So you got to get up for suhoor. All right. So for suhoor, you'll have maybe everybody's different, but everybody knows it's something light. So for me, I may have a couple of pieces of toast and a piece of fruit and some water, and I'm done. All right. Maybe you have some dates, and you maybe just have some fruit and some water, and maybe you have a bowl of cereal, you know, whatever. But you need to keep it light. All right. And it's important that you eat the right things so that you have the best opportunity to be hydrated and to be healthy during the day, because we fast the same way as all of the prophets, including the one that you call Jesus. We fast the way that all of the prophets have fasted since Adam. So that after suhoor, then you have Fajr prayer, which is the first prayer of the day. No eating after suhoor. That's it. And certainly after you pray Fajr, there's no eating. All right? Now, from then until the sun goes down, nothing crosses your palate except for your spit. No water, nothing going on. Nothing. Nothing. Because ask yourself, for all these people walking around talking about they love the Lord, next time one of them says that to you, ask them, what would you do for him? What would you do for this Lord you say you love so much? Or this one kills me, when Christians say, I serve an awesome God. I can't. Say, really, he is awesome. Now, what would you do for him? What would you do for him? What? What? And then say to them, would you be willing to go without food for even one day? Food or water, from sunup to sundown. Oh, I can't do that. But you expect him to give you your next breath. And you expect for him to sustain you through the rest of your life. And you want to go to paradise after this life. But you're not willing to do anything for the one that creates? Nothing? So we have titles for people like that. You understand? But alas, so nothing crosses your palate till sundown. Now, but in the meantime, if you are married, you do not have sex with your wife. So y'all can't just be canoodling during the day. Well, we're fasting anyway. I need to do something, so let's canoodle. No canoodling. This is a time of abstinence. Do you understand? And it also is supposed to teach you empathy for the poor and those who have nothing. You understand? You fast one day of Ramadan, and you will go, okay. And it puts you in a state of gratitude, because the things you take for granted, you will appreciate more. Do you understand that when we get to the end of the day, and when you're waiting for that adhan to go off to signal that it's time for Maghrib prayer and it's time to break the fast, you don't understand how much you appreciate a drink of water. You don't understand. You don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. Until you do it. Over the years at Ramadan, I've challenged my audience. I said, anybody, I challenge you, do one day of Ramadan with me. Just do one day. Just do one day. You don't got to do the prayers. Obviously, you don't have to read in Quran because you probably don't have one and blah, blah, blah. But just fast. Just fast. Just fast and see if you can do it. See if you can do it. My brother Kai, this brother, he fasts anyways. And we don't just fast at Ramadan. We also fast Mondays and Thursdays. We fast 2 days a week. For thousands of years, Muslims have been doing this. Now, in 2020, you're hearing more and more intermittent fasting. Is this good for people to intermittent fast? Well, we've been doing that anyway. We just have. But anyways, Kai is one for sure that he not only took me up on it, but he's been fasting. And it's a good experience for you to do, but I want to try and make sure I hit all the markers. So, it's not just fasting. You must read the Quran. Also, if you're a slacker, because Muslims pray 5 times a day. So if you're a slacker and you have not been getting your prayers in, your 5 daily prayers in the rest of the year, certainly during Ramadan, you're going to be getting those 5 prayers a day in. Because, again, you're trying to reset. You're trying to reset. You're trying to reset. Allah is trying to give you chances, you see? It's like the divine wants to reward you, but he expects you to do something. There's always a requisite, everybody. There's always a requisite. You got to do something. You must. You must. You can't just exist in this life and then that's it and here I go and I'm done. You see? No, you have to be aware that this life is like this and that the eternity is just that, eternity. Either you're going to be in eternal hellfire or you're going to be in paradise. That's real. That's real. And if you're in eternal hellfire, Allah says that every moment is like the first, forever, in hellfire. You see? So we don't want to go to hellfire. Now, so it's not just about Quran and praying. Those are huge. You must do that. And fasting. All right. But it's also about resetting your character. Like, you're not going to get a profane word out of me in this video. Or all during Ramadan. It's about reharnessing your character, your self-control, your self-restraint. You see, Muslim men, we automatically, we don't have a predator's eye when it comes to women. Anyway, that's forbidden. When we're around women, we're told to lower our gaze. So we do that anyway. Certainly, you're guarding that even more during Ramadan. We won't listen to music. You can watch television. If you after we break the fast in the evening, some people do watch television, but obviously, again, you're still in the holy month. Ramadan doesn't end at the end of the night, so you're still in the holy month. So you should select things that are not going to be haram or forbidden in any way. It's not like you fast all day today and then it's Friday. So, oh my God, it's Friday. I'm done fasting. I break the fast at such time. Now I can go out to the club. No, I'm trying to express to you the whole month is holy. The whole month, everybody. The whole month. The whole month. The whole month. And usually, and alhamdulillah, this is a pandemic because a lot of people, it's more difficult when we have to go back and forth to work, and you have to do a lot of things. But most Muslims now will be just like I am right now. I gussied up a little bit in this garment for you guys today, but normally I'm just in one of my house garments, and because we're constantly washing all day for the prayers, so you'd rather just be in something that when it's called to prayer, you can just get up, make wudu, and make your salat and be done. You see, so this pandemic will make it easier for everybody because everybody's in the house anyway. For the most part, unless they're doing something essential. All right, so now you fast all day, you're keeping it holy, and you're reading your 30th of the Quran, and you are. It's also a time of giving too. You to go and feed the poor, to give money to people that have less than you, to help the sick. You really. This is Muslims do this all the time, but this is during the holy month. That's when it really ramps up even more. If you're not able to fast because you have a medical condition or something like that that precludes you, because Allah doesn't want this to be harsh on you, and He doesn't block you from the blessing, but you have to have something legitimate. So let's say a woman is on her cycle, she can't fast, because that's going to be an extra burden on her. Nah, she don't got to do that. Or maybe you have some diabetes, or you have something that precludes you that would make fasting a hardship on you. Allah has decreed other things that you can do that you will get the same blessing as if you fasted as well. All right? So now, once you, so at the end of the night, or at the end of the day, when you're done fasting, then we normally go to the mosque for what is known as iftar. Well, actually, we're going to we're going to the mosque for the last two prayers of the day, which is Maghrib and Isha, but also then there is also the Taraweeh prayers, which is the Imam will I'm getting ahead of myself. You get to the mosque, you go in, the Adhan, boom, you break the fast with dates and water, then you go and make Maghrib prayer. That will be congregational. Then we go and we eat. Wherever you live, find you some Muslims and tell them, well, you can't do it now in the pandemic, but maybe next year, inshallah. Tell them, I want to go to the mosque with you during Ramadan. You will have some of the best food you ever ate from all over the world. It's the best thing. It's the best thing. So normally, then, like I say, then we break the fast, and then, we break the fast with date and water, go and pray, then you go and have the meal. That is iftar. All right? Then after you eat, then the imam or the sheikh will usually give a talk of some kind, and then we have the taraweeh. Now, these prayers, because remember, when we're praying, we're reciting the Quran. That's what Muslims are doing. That's what we're doing. When you, Allahu Akbar, and you see us doing this, and then we bend over to our knees and come back up, then we go all the way down to the ground, which is known as sujood. The whole time we're reciting Quran. That's all we're doing, reciting Quran. Reciting the book. It's not until the end of the prayer, when you're sitting you're on your knees, like sitting on your heels, and you're like this, on the ground, and you're doing this. This is known as dua. Now you're asking to make me rich, put me on Oprah's Rolodex, give me a new something, and let me wear Dolce & Gabbana. All right? Now, so when we have the Taraweeh prayers, that 30th that I told you that we're praying, that we're reading each day, that's what the imam is now going to recite when we're in the congregational prayer in the mosque. That's what he's reciting, that 30th. So when you're standing there and he's reciting, you know it. He says one word wrong, everybody knows it. You see? Meanwhile, there's 534 versions of the Bible. None of them read the same. I had to get that in as well. All right. So now, after that, now those prayers are done, and then now you can go home. All right. Some people, maybe they didn't get the 30th read. They will finish up the 30th. Or there's other things that they will do to acknowledge the holy month. Sometimes you can have iftar in somebody's home. Maybe you don't go to the mosque to break the fast. Maybe you be at somebody's house. Somebody will call you up and say, brother, I'm having iftar. I would love to have you over. Oh, alhamdulillah. And you go to their home, and that's where you break the fast and do the prayers and all that stuff. All right. So this goes on for the entire holy month, everybody. And then at the end of Ramadan, we have what is known as Eid al-Fitr. This is the feast, the celebration, where everybody comes out in their best, and we have food. It always feels weird on the day because we have the morning prayers that we do to end the holy month, and it always feels weird because it's daytime and you're about to eat something. Now it happens to every Muslim every year, all the time, because you're so used to now not eating during the day that now you think you've broken your fast. As soon as you eat something, you go, oh, that's right, Ramadan's over. Like, and that will be with you for like maybe a week or two after Ramadan is over. You're like, I shouldn't be eating. Wait, oh, it's not Ramadan. Okay, So, but we have the Eid al-Fitr celebration. We exchange gifts. The zakat, the charity that people give just on their own, not being provoked by the imam, like they be passing them buckets around the Christian church. We don't do that. People understand that the mosque has to be maintained, so you just contribute when you can and what you can if you want to. Done. That's between you and Allah. That's it. Nobody's on you. And so, but whatever the mosque takes in outside of its expenses doesn't. That's why we don't have any imams rolling around in Bentleys and private jets and being flashy like the Christian pastors, because at our Eid al-Fitr celebration, the elders and the board members in the mosque then know who in the mosque has and who doesn't. Like, so if you're a surgeon, you're going to be last to get an envelope. You don't really need it so much. But the envelopes are just being handed out. The money is shared amongst the community. That's it. Remember, in Islam, you're not allowed to hoard money. And when you do give charity to the mosque, or you pay your zakat during Ramadan, you only give 2.5% of your excess wealth. You see, not the church mother that said if they're giving out her light bill to the church. That's not what Allah wants for you. He wants you to go and pay your light bill, and if you have something left over, and then you should give that. You see, but Allah also says, fear not poverty for your charity, but you're supposed to be smart about that. You see, so everything's paid, but you can't get that Dolce and Gabbana that you wanted. But everything is paid, and you got food in your house. You got some extra money that goes to the poor, or somebody doesn't have. You see? Because Allah also says charity is the right of the poor upon the rich. It's their right. You owe them. Doesn't matter how they got there. You have more than them, you owe them. It's their right. Charity is the right of the poor upon the rich. The right. The right. Think about that. If we lived in a society like that, there would be no classism. You understand? No classism, no haves and have-nots. Everybody would have. You would just give because you just want to see your brother and your sister in a better place. They shouldn't be without when you have something. Just shouldn't happen. Just shouldn't happen. I will tell you, this is the first Ramadan that I've been a part of in a pandemic. So it's very awkward. Because you can't have the congregational prayers. You can't have congregational iftar. It's just bizarre, But it's also, at the same time, I know for a lot of my brothers and sisters, it's also ironically easier, because the other stresses and strains of life that you would have on you while you are fasting, a lot of those are not happening right now. So it's easy for you to just get through your fasting, And I will tell you, if you try it certainly if you're a new Muslim, even if you're not a new Muslim, if you just somebody just wanted to try it, I promise you Allah will make it easy for you because you're attempting it, you know. Um, when you get used to it, you just get used to it. You know, I eat like a bird anyway and always have my whole life, you know. I just have. My grandmother only used to have to get after me with the belt or the switch or extension cord when I didn't eat. Just your butt up here and eat, you know. I just have always eaten like a bird anyway. I'm not into food all like that, so, but I'm still human. And there's a whole psychological thing that takes over. It's one thing to just eat like a bird. It's another thing to to know that you must be fasting right now, because the mind plays tricks on you. You know, one minute I'm cool if I don't eat, but the next minute now it's Ramadan. Now it's something you want to eat. It's one of those things, man. But also during the holy month, Allah says that He has chained the seven doors of hell, and He has weakened the devil. I'll just say, because we say shaitan. This is how Allah describes the devil, the shaitan. So He has chained the shaitan so that you don't have any excuse as a Muslim for temptation, because Allah has already said, I'm going to protect you from the temptation. You go and do what you're supposed to do. I got this. You do it. So you can have no excuse for not carrying out what it is that this holy month is designed to do and receiving all the blessings for it. I will share with you one year. Y'all know Janet is my wife. And you have chapters, at least I do, where music goes in and out of my life, even if it's an old song. You're jamming, you're back to it. It has a season in your life, and then it goes away, and then you're like, yeah, and then you kind of revisit it, and it's your jam again. Well, it was, obviously I had shut down my radios and all that stuff, and CD players the day before Ramadan that year, and I didn't know what was in my CD player in the car. And after we had Eid al-Fitr at the mosque, our celebration, our feast, and exchanging gifts and all of that, I was leaving the mosque to drive home and get out of my clothing, and I hit the CD player, and it was All Night Don't Stop, Janet Jackson. And I must tell you, that song sounded like something I never heard in my life. My stereo in my car sounded like I paid a lot of money for it suddenly, when it's still the factory stereo. I'm just trying to say, like, when you've been that starved and you kept yourself away from things, you appreciate it even more, you know. This is also good for my people, you know. Here we are in the pandemic. You think about the principles of Ramadan. You think about the principles of Islam and the way we live our life. So just our diet alone and our intermittent fasting that's built into our way of life gives us a leg up. You see, this is why I've said to you over the years, even my people can't be bothered to be Muslim. Can you just, for the love of God, live the way of life that we live? Because this is the original way of African people. This is what we've always done. We've done this. 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 And proof of that is that we accept that we are the Israelites, the people of the Torah, the people of the Scripture, and the people of the Quran. We are the Israelites. So if you go back to Musa alayhi salam, Moses you're calling, you go back to Musa alayhi salam, so that this was the way of life. There's only one way of life. One. So these are things we've always done. We've always done it. We've always done it. We've always done it. We've always done it. But this time, at this hour in time and history, if African people, certainly in this nation, were living the way of life that Muslims live, 99% of our issues would go away tomorrow. That's real. Like, that's real. 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 Let me look at your comments, see if you guys had any questions. Um, Shout out to Camp God. Walaikum salam. And did you get my email? I sent you, I got your email. Remember, I sent you the test email, and then you sent me it back, and then I sent you, so I didn't hear back from you. It's good to see you. Walaikum salam. And Ramadan Mubarak. Uh, yes, Aziza. It is cleansing, and it invokes humanity as well, as you say. That's so true. Islam matches human nature is because it's from the Creator. That's so true. The things that you're inclined to naturally, you just go, oh my God, that's also Islam too. It just so happens. It's connected like that. Like, you don't need to work at, I just need my people to know, what you do with that is on your own, because Muslims don't make Muslims. We don't. We're not, when's the last time a group of Muslims knocked on your door and wanted to share the Quran with you? Not going to happen. Because Allah guides whom He wills. La ikraha fid din, Allah says to us. Let there be no compulsion in your religion. You see? So, but my people need to expose themselves to it, and then whatever happens will be between you and Allah. That'll just be between the two of you. Yes, the issues would go away, but people don't want to submit. That's the main thing. Islam is not a religion, everybody. I've said this a million times, and I'm saying it again. Shout out to Black Beauty. Always good to see you, my sister. Shout out to, oh, I shouted. Okay. Islam is not religion, everybody. It's your way of life. From morning to night, from birth to death. It's everything. It's everything that you do. It's everything. It's everything that you do. From what you eat to how you from what you eat to how you go to the bathroom, to how you treat people, to how you sleep, how you name anything in life. I can't even name, because life is life. Like, everything is provided in the way of life that Allah has laid out for mankind. And those of us who do that are known as Muslims. Muslims. Not Muslim, like the white devil tells you. It's Muslim, because mu is to do. So we don't go around and you say, well, what's your way of life? I don't say, I do Islam. I could say that if I want to. I do submission. Mu Islam. Islam means submission. So Muslim, one who submits, Muslim, to do submission. Just to conjugate it for you. Alright? And, Allah reminds us, everybody, it's like what I was saying a minute ago. When I asked you, I said, what would you do for the one that created you? What would you do? It's very easy for people to walk around having these esoteric, fake, artificial, non-valid debates and arguments and conversations about theology and religion and all of that, but you're really wasting your time, because everybody knows the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Everybody knows that. Nobody typed anything when I mentioned the 4 seasons, because we know they are. Nobody objects to the birds flying in the air, and that they're of all different species and colors and sizes. No one objects to the rain falling from the heaven. We all acknowledge it. Allah is showing you His signs in everything you see Him. evidence of the one who creates. You see? And as Allah says to us in Surah Al-Rahman, فَبِيَ أَلَّا إِرَبِكُمَا تُكَذِبَانِ. Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? فَبِيَ أَلَّا إِرَبِكُمَا تُكَذِبَانِ. Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? Which one? Basically, you have all this proof. What are you denying? What will make you, what will be enough for you, you lowly, dusty creature created of dust? What will be enough for you to believe and then to submit? What is enough for you? Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? فَبِيَ أَلَّا إِرَبِكُمَا تُكَذِبَانِ. You see? So Allah is almost challenging you there. You know, challenging you. Almost, just challenging you. You know, it's like if I come in and I go, you guys know I hit the lottery, which I never would because I don't gamble, because I have a way of life that we don't gamble. But let's say I was not Muslim and I was one of you gambling people. And I came and I go, you know, I won the lottery. Well, you want proof of that. And I go, well, look, I'm showing you I got the new Rolex. And then you see I'm wearing Louis Vuittons. You see I'm wearing Versace. You see I've got and I'd be like, what I got to do to show you I'm rich? I won the lottery. You want to call Vegas up and find, you know, like, come on. So this is kind of that. You know, Allah is showing you the gloriousness of all His signs and His majesty. And He's asking you, which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? Which what? Let's see, where am I? Aziza, exactly. And when you give dawah, when we give dawah, we don't come with money and give just a message. Allahu Akbar. Because, and to pick up on Aziza's point, because again, like with these other people that from other faiths, we use that word very carefully, who want to beat you over the head with it, which is usually the Christian. Remember, Allah sent messengers, Rasuls. They just come tell you, and that they scurry away. They don't need to beat you over the head with it. You know, nobody came as an enforcer. Everybody came as a messenger, Rasul, you see. So Muslims were never going to beat you over the head with it. You know, I'm probably the closest you'll come to somebody beating you over the head just because of my love for my people, and I know this is the way of life for my people and the saving grace for our issues. So I speak from that place as well. But that's the Jedi speaking. That's not Islam. The only thing the Creator hasn't done is show Himself to us. We have been given all kinds of proof. Absolutely, because Allah says we can't even see Him. He's too much. Remember, Musa alayhi salam was up on Sinai. He said, show me you, let me see you. When Allah was speaking to Moses. He said, let me see you. He goes, you can't see me? I'm too much. You can't. You can't see me. You can't. So, He gave him signs. He made the mountain to blow up. And then He goes, put your hand inside your bosom and draw it forth. And it was white as snow. So we know Moses. Look like the Jedi. Know this. We know this. It's unequivocal. Unequivocal. But to that point also, before you even get to Allah, just even the angel, Jibril, when he first appears to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he appears in his actual angel form, it's too much. Literally sent the Prophet running from the cave, like running and shaking. He was over it. And his wife had to comfort him, like, what's going on? It was too much. So even the angels, when you guys say, oh, I saw an angel on a piece of toast, I promise you didn't see an angel on a piece of toast. There's a video here on the channel called Who is Allah? Who is Allah? You need to go and watch it. Because I get into angels in that. And I'm expressing to you that Allah has said to us that, first of all, there's 7 heavens. And there's about 5,000 or 5 million or 5,000 years between each heaven. And angels that hold the kursi of Allah, their feet are in the lowest heaven, which is where we at. And their shoulders are in the highest heaven. You don't know an angel. You don't know an angel. Allah says that just from the earlobe to the shoulder of an angel would take a bird 5,000 years. You don't want to. You don't know. You don't know what an angel is. So you don't understand the realm in which we live. You don't understand the universe. Allah is communicating something about the universe to you there. You understand? Go and watch that video, everybody. It's very valuable. I don't bring things out of value. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to impart things to you that will spark thought and to hopefully bring you into something new and give and inspire you and to bring your heart alive. You know, just you need to see that video. You need to see it. Monica Bell, shout out to you. Hey Jedi, late but here. Also been in hospital since you last video. Not well. Oh my God, Monica. Are you just generally like something normal, or was this corona? Alhamdulillah, you're well, that you're out of the hospital. But was it corona, Monica? Alhamdulillah, you're well. The other thing I want to say, Monica just reminded me this as reading her comment. You know, everybody, 2 years ago, there was a lady in our mosque that died during Ramadan. She's totally going to paradise. Because there's things that Allah has said to us that if this happens, you're totally going to paradise. Like, you could have been the worst person on earth. And oh my God, there's an old lady crossing the street, or just a child or anybody. And you see the bus coming. And last minute, for whatever reason, you out there and you save their life. Whether you live or not is inconsequential. Allah says the saving of even one life is as if you've saved the life of all humanity, and you'll be rewarded. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I mention that because this lady died during Ramadan. And there are some passings that Allah has signaled to us in the Quran and through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that these are deaths to sort of admire, and you should be so lucky if that happened to you. And one of them is dying during Ramadan. Another one is dying in the mosque. The other one is dying on a Friday, if seen as a good death. Also, certainly if you die while you're in the rows making the prayer, or you're in sujood when your head and your nose is down on the ground and you croak and die of a heart attack or a stroke right there, you're totally going to paradise. Like that, you're going to paradise. You are going. Done. 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 Totally going to paradise. Okay, Monica says, no, it wasn't corona, but she was tested. However, I am waiting on a waiting list for a heart transplant. Heart only working at 15 to 20%. Monica, can I ask you how old you are? If you could type that for me. How old are you, Monica? while you're typing, while you're telling me that, first thing I want you to know is the qatar of Allah. The qatar. The qatar of Allah. You're young. You're young. Know this. All power is with Allah. That the day of your birth and your death was written before you were ever even a sperm seed. That's what you first need to know. And so that hand in hand with that, you need to know that with or without a heart transplant, Allah's will be done. That if you are to live until you're 98, that will happen. I was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2009, 2010. My father died of it in 2009 after having it for 15 years. 2010, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And they were like, you have an aggressive form of it and you're going down. Well, I got the diagnosis, but I already had a trip planned. So I was like, well, I already have the trip planned, so can I, and they're like, yeah, normally we give you 6 months, but because it's aggressive, we're only giving you 3 months. I said, okay, fine. I'm only going to be gone for a month. Well, went on my trip, got hurt. Boom, now I'm in a wheelchair for over a year. I can't deal with that. I'm dealing with trying to learn to walk again and all of that. But when I got back to the point where I could walk again, and I saw another urologist, and I didn't want to even know about the first one, the diagnosis. But somehow it had to come out. So, because I didn't want him to be influenced by that. Like, you're just, because doctors, judges, lawyers, police, once a colleague has said something, it's the gospel, and they go with that, and I didn't want that. I wanted him to just go like as if he didn't know nothing. But anyway, they looked at the previous biopsy, and they're like, this is totally it. It's you, and you're going down. Well, after I got through my accident and now I had to revisit this, I went to a separate, this urologist that I'm telling you about now. And the last time that I saw him before my second biopsy, as we were leaving out of the examination room, and I feel like he opened the door for me. And I turned around, and he's a white man. And I said, Doctor, do you believe in God? He said, well, yeah. And then I leaned right up to him. I said, do you believe that God can do anything? He goes, well, yeah, I guess so. I needed to know if this dude that's going to be doing my biopsy, this second biopsy, do you believe in God? I need to know that about people. Because, A, you can't, if you don't believe in God, like, I won't even be friends with you. Like, I don't care even if you're a Christian, I'm cool with you. But if you just don't believe in God at all, you can't be in my life. And certainly if you're going to be a medical provider to me in some kind of way, I need you to be believing there's one that creates. I just need that. Anyway, so make a long story short, Monica, we had the second biopsy, February of 2011. But meanwhile, after that, I was injured now for that year. Now I'm in, both my feet are in casts, and I've got reconstructed bone and blah, 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 blah. And I would be laying in my bed at night, speaking to the one who creates, speaking to Allah. Because that prostate diagnosis is still in my mind. But I'm dealing with this now. I can't do that. And I would just say to Allah, I can't do both, Allah. I can't do this. I can't. Please take it away from me. And then all of a sudden the language came to me. Let there be nothing. Let there be nothing. Let there be nothing. Let there be nothing. I would just say that 1,000,000 times over. I would literally don't know what time I would go to sleep because I would just be speaking to Allah, asking him to lift that burden from me. Like, I can't do both of these. I can't. And that went on for weeks. So now, fast forward now, we're in February of 2011. And I had the biopsy on Tuesday. Thursday, I just fixed some chowder and some toast, and I was just sitting down to eat, and the phone rang, and I seen it was the urologist, and my heart began to palpitate. Well, you just got to stand in front of the bullet, Jedi. So let me just answer the phone. And here he was with the pleasantries and all. Mr. So-and-so, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. You know, well, did you have any bleeding? And, you know, because after you have a biopsy, you expect to have some bleeding. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that went for a little bit, but not so much, and I'm fine. I need him to just get to it now. Finally, he goes, well, you know, we're sure about the results on this. Your biopsy was the only biopsy done on Tuesday at the hospital. We've had 3 pathologists to look at this as well, and we all agree. And my heart is coming out of my chest. He goes, we found nothing. He goes, I'm not going to tell you this. He goes, but in all my years of urology, I've never seen this. I said, can you say it again, doctor? He said, we found nothing. I said, can you say it again? I must have did that 20 times. Because I was crying on my end. Can you say it again? Can you say it again? Can you say it again? So I offer that, Monica, because all power is with Allah. But you got to know that. And when you have moments of despair, then I offer you what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to mankind. Never look to the man who has more than you. Always look to the man who has less than you, so you can see the mercy of Allah on you. Because so often we can be so consumed with our own goings on that we don't realize it could be worse. You're still here. You're on a live stream right now. Allahu Akbar. There's somebody else didn't have that opportunity. I'm going to be begging and asking Allah to protect you and to work a miracle in your life and to sustain you and give you a long life. Preserve you. Preserve you. Monica, are you a parent, by the way? Are you a mom? I'd like to know that, if you're a mom. I believe that have spoken in tongues over my body, still here. 2 heart attacks, 4 strokes, kidney disease, stage 4 diabetes, and thyroid cancer, and still here. Yes, 2 kids, 38 and 27. Allahu Akbar. Listen, Monica, I want to say this to you too. Right this minute, you got to change your diet. Period. You have to. You have to. Again, Allah will help us, but we must also do part of the work. So, it's got to be about your children and you. So, you got to, because diet has so much to do with what we are and how we express, and certainly when it comes to health. So while we ask Allah to preserve you and to protect you, maybe this is the reason why that you're here today, for me to give you this. You got to, right this minute, not this week, not tomorrow, right now. It has to change. So based on what you're expressing to me, you got to cut out all pork from your life. It can't just be bacon. Can't just be pork chops. Pork is in many forms in this country. All pork has to go, Monica. It has to go. And anything that has pork products in it. So Jello is out. Marshmallows are out. These things, just off the top of my head, these are some things that have pork in them. All right? There's even gummy bears that have pork in them. I mean, you'd be surprised. There's even suppositories that have uh, uh, gelatin, which is a byproduct of pork. All right? You got to cut out all pork right now. Right now. You also have got to start reading packages. Also, anything white has got to go. White rice I'll allow if that's the only thing white, and flour, I guess. But everything else white in your life has got to go. If it's white, it's not from Allah and it must go. All right? It's got to go. It's got to go. You've got to stop eating fattening foods. And sugar is a problem. Somebody like me, I need sugar because I weigh 4 ounces and I need to be fat. But again, I'm looking to the person who has less than me. So while I've always complained my whole life about being skinny, there's my 600-pound life. So I picked this over that. Just saying. You said you've had 2 heart attacks, 4 strokes. You are a miracle already. But that also tells me the whisper. Because when I read this, I say, why has Allah given her that many chances? He's trying to make you get it right. These were the whispers. The first heart attack at 40. What would you say? Yeah, first heart attack at 40. That was a whisper. But the diabetes is a whisper. The strokes, these are whispers. Allah is saying, now it's not even whispers anymore. By the time it gets to stroke and heart attack and diabetes, it's no longer a whisper. If the universe is yelling at you, you got to make a change right now. And so now I'm vocalizing for the universe. This is it. Right now, you got to make the change. Because what I'm a student of the one who created me. And what I read here is Allah is saying to you, the universe is saying to you, I've whispered and now I've yelled. I've now sent a messenger to tell you in language you could understand. The next event will not be a whisper or a yell. You got to fix it right now, Monica. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. And you got to be able to make, again, back to Ramadan, because you'd be surprised how many people eat stuff that is bad because they just are addicted. They just can't give it up. They just can't. They just, this is one of the things that Islam teaches you. My second to the oldest nephew, his girlfriend or wife or whatever, she's a very large human being. I'll just be nice. And she's always complaining that she wants to lose weight. Well, I asked her one day, because I wanted to see if she was serious. And I'm going to read this in a second, Monica. I see you. There's something else here now. I was on the phone with her one day, years ago, because I don't speak to these people at all. I don't know if they're alive or dead. But she said, I said to her, okay, let's say you've been in the desert for a month. You've not had nothing to drink or eat, and oh my God, and you came upon a mirage. You thought it was a mirage, but it really was a little shack. And it turns out there's a refrigerator in there. It really works. You've had nothing to eat for 30 days. I may have said 40. I said, you open this refrigerator, and there's a Pepsi, and then there's pure fruit juice with some of the most exotic fruits from around the world, like just sweet and delicious, like, oh my God, which one are you going to pick without breathing? She said, well, I have to pick the Pepsi because I need that fizz. I hung up on her and never spoke to her ever again. Because it was clear to me she's never going to lose weight. She's never going to lose it. Never. Because she's not even in a position to even lie to herself or even be rational that she should at least pick the fruit juice. You feel me? So, like, I'm over it. So, I offer that just to say that discipline is necessary. Now, you said you're eating raw egg or raw vegetables. I'm sorry. Fruits, no red meat. Try to go total vegan, no pork. Was raised Muslim till age 14. Why did you stop? Or were you Nation of Islam, which will give you a pass because those are not Muslims? I was only I only weigh 156 slash 159. Well, what's going on? And I wouldn't get so hung up on the vegan thing, Monica, if I was you. Like, it's just about eating what. Just here's the thing: if it doesn't die, don't eat it. Like, if you can't put it in your house and it's gonna be dead, or if it's not gonna be rotten or have something growing on it in 72 hours, don't eat it. Don't eat it. So there goes all your canned goods. There goes all your processed food that's dry, that's in, you know, packages, cookies and cereals and anything that doesn't rot and die, don't eat it. You need that extreme right now. You do. And lastly, I'd like to know what part of the country you're in, because you also need some camel's milk. Yeah, I see Shiro's telling you about Dr. Sebi. Corindo, salamu alaikum. I did a whole section on you. You will have to go back and watch the video when, you have to go back. But yes, it's so good to see you. Alhamdulillah. I can't testify for mare's milk. I know that the camel milk is everything. Even the Prophet Muhammad used it. It was something that he spoke about. I have experienced it my own self. I can tell you it's everything. It's everything. It's everything. And even for your diabetes, you understand that camel's milk is naturally high in insulin. And so people that are diabetic who drink camel's milk go off their insulin medication. That's real. You can go to a website called Camel Milk USA, singular camel, not plural. Camel Milk USA, one word, camelmilkusa.com, and read the testimonials. Yes, yes. I'm really worried, Monica. I'm so glad you shared that with us. Um, and, but now the big question, you said you were raised Muslim. So you didn't choose it after the fact. That can happen. My own story is just because I was raised Muslim, once I got to age 17, I left home. I wasn't a practicing Muslim, but still my character was already shaped. There was things I'm just not doing. I still had the taqwa, the fear of Allah, and the last day. Like, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't say this, can't say that. And so, but I knew that I needed to go and find and study other, I hate to say way of life, because the only way of life is Islam. So I went and studied religion. I went and studied religion. That's why I can sit here now and quote the scriptures to you. I can tell you about the Indian Veda. I can tell you about the Torah. I can pull out my Bibles for you. My Living Word, my King James, my Mormon Bibles. You see what I'm saying? I had to go and find out what were these other things saying, because the only thing was important for me was the truth. Not my point of view, not what's popular. I'm a consistent man. It doesn't matter what it is in life. Whatever the truth is, that's where you will find the Jedi. That's just where you'll find him. Whatever it is, that's where you'll find me. And so this was the case. Nothing else stood up to scrutiny at all. It was all easily defeated, and could be shown and proven. That's not from God. That's not valid. It's not. I can't. So that may have been your experience. And also, you may have been exposed to the Nation of Islam, which they are not Muslims. And that will turn anybody off, quite frankly. So, what is your journey? Were you Nation of Islam or were you mainstream Muslim, Orthodox Muslim? Because Nation of Islam are just glorified Christians. They just are. God love them. Shout out to Daryl Eiffel. Sure, yes, I've read Dr. Sebi from El Paso, Texas. Sorry, type slow. Father was a hypocrite, and it was FOI. See? Excuse me. That's fine. So, that's fine. Now, you need to, you have to do this for yourself. If you are inspired or curious about actual Islam, then that's what you need to do. Nation of Islam is not Muslims. They're very good at what they do, and I've given them high marks, and I've spoken about them at length, and blah, blah, blah. But they are not Muslims. They're just not, because the Christian, one of the things that sets the Muslim apart from everybody else, quite frankly, but certainly the Christian, is we don't play around. We don't mold Allah's word to fit us. We submit to it. And everybody on here, and anybody you ever known and will know, everybody, they start a new job tomorrow. Oh, they said I have to cut my hair for this job. Or we can't wear that on my job. Or I have to be there this time. They don't let us off on this day, this and that. You submit to everything else, but no submission to Allah. We don't have time for that. No, I get to do what I want. The very thing that's the most important is the thing you're playing around with. I'm over it. So I'm trying to encourage you to say that you need to make the journey, and it will bring you back around. You realize Islam is the way, and then you need to figure that out for yourself and ask Allah for guidance. You know. But I was going to say that the Christian plays around. There's no playing, and this is our objection to the Nation of Islam. They believe that a white man by the name of Farad Muhammad was God come as a man. Astaghfirullah Azim. They believe that. Once you try to breach the Tawheed, the oneness of Allah, we're over you. Like I say, you don't have to be a perfect Muslim. There's no perfect Muslim. That's your jihad. You're struggling to that level your whole life till you die. You should be struggling for perfection. That's fine. But the moment you proclaim that Allah has any partners or equals or offspring, or that he came in the flesh as a man, we're over you. And not just us. Allah is over you. Like, that's not acceptable. It's not. It's not. That's the highest blasphemy you can speak from your tongue. So there's a surah, a very short one in the Quran, known as Ikhlas. Ikhlas. Ikhlas, I've recited it 1,000,000 times for you all. They do some wizard wording and try to make it seem like this surah is saying something other than what it says. The surah in the Arabiya is Bismillah, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul hu Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yulid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. He is Allah, the one and only, the self-subsisting, the eternal, the only absolute. He begets not, nor is he begotten, and there is none like unto him. He is one. That's Ikhlas. I just did it in Arabic and English for you. They make that into something, it's so confusing I can't even recite it to you. And when Farrakhan, who I love, when he speaks, when he's at the beginning, because usually when a real Muslim imam or sheikh speaks, when they start a talk, they usually will recite Quran, they send blessings upon the prophets, and they'll make some sort of dua. So he gets up there and he starts with, we give thanks to Allah for Moses and Adam and Jesus and Muhammad, which you already have now degraded the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam You notice we always say this after we mention the prophet's name, because he is the seal of the prophets. That's it. There's nobody else coming after him. This is the last one. This is the one spoken of by Isaiah, by Ezekiel. It's in Deuteronomy. It's in the Psalms of Solomon. It's in John, the 16th chapter. The prophet Muhammad has been talked about. It's even in the Indian Veda. It even tells you what his father's name is going to be. Everything. So this is the one. But what I'm trying to say is, when Farrakhan is opening up his, and we also thank Allah for interceding in our affairs. That's where he goes into the snake language. Go watch any speech of his. Just watch the opening when he gets up to talk. After they do the 50-minute intro of him, and then he finally gets up to speak, you'll hear him say everything I just said, and he'll say, and we also thank Allah for intervening in our affairs and sending one to us and coming in the form of a man and die off. I'm over it. No, Allah has not been to earth, has not come to earth. You understand? Done. He doesn't need to play his hocus pocus game with you. You understand? He's already told you. This is the deal. You know what I tell you? I prepared a chateau called hell. I don't need to come play hocus pocus games with you. Who do you say I am? Ooh, the spirit, and he sent his only son, and Allah doesn't need to do all that for you. I wouldn't go through that for you. I don't need to. You take too long crossing in front of my car at the grocery store, I'm probably going to run you over. So, so, no, I'm over it. But I'm just saying, Nation of Islam is not the spot. It's not. It's not. It's not. And they really don't like that. Because like here I sit, I have on my Palestinian scarf and my thobe. They never dress like this. I have a beard, which Muslim men are supposed to grow a beard if you can grow hair on your face. You see they're always clean shaven with the bow tie and a suit. Not disparaging the brothers, but don't try to be something that you're not. I always tell you, don't get the credit without the work. And their idea of me would be I'm trying to be an Arab. First of all, the Bedouins, all of them, everybody who dresses like this to this day got it from the African. I'm paying homage to the ancestors. You must understand, I said Palestinian scarf. You must understand that's Northeast Africa. Period. I don't care what they look like now, because in order for that to be valid, that has to be Northeast Africa. Because even in Ezekiel, or is it Isaiah, when it talks about how the Israelites will migrate into what is now the Arabian Peninsula, but again, we're staying on Northeast Africa, they were expecting this prophet, so that's why they went there. You understand? Oh, it gets into an area, but I'm just trying to say, they're dressing more like the white man and calling it that, because we weren't wearing that. You can go and see the Bedouins that still go across the deserts in Africa now, and they dress like your boy right here. Understand that? So the Arabs, no matter how they look now, like Latinos, their way of dress came from us. Period. It just always has. But they think this is against that. Also, you go into their temples. They don't have mosques. We have mosques. They have temples with numbers on them. Temple number this, temple number that. There's no temples in Islam. And they also have pews in their temples. And you have men and women sitting together. Hear this. There's no mosque on planet Earth that has chairs in it. We sit on the floor, on carpet. Period. There's no mosque on earth where we have pews. We don't have that. That does not exist in Islam. The moment you see that, you know you're not in an Islamic mosque. You're in something else. Khalifa of the Most High, Assalamu alaikum. Good to see you, my brother. I can't get too worked up, Khalifa. It's Ramadan. Oh, yeah, I got that, Monica. You're 5'9". Where do you live? I mean, like, what, you know, listen, You don't even have to tell me that. You can go to IslamicFinder.org. It might be .com. Because I've put in org and .com in both of it. So, anyways, you need to go to IslamicFinder.com and put in your zip code, and it will tell you the mosque that's nearest you. Done. And you should have a very easy time finding a mosque, because more mosques have been, even in 2010, the Christians were complaining that more mosques had been built in 2010 than there were churches. We are now buying up churches. Do you understand? Because Islam is spreading like wildfire, as the prophecy had proclaimed. One of the signs of the end times, everybody. But you'll know when you're really getting towards the end, because the only way that Isa, alayhi salam, the one you call Jesus, the only reason why the only way he can return to the earth is after Islam has become the #1 religion on the earth. Go and Google the year now that the white man has said Islam will completely overtake Christianity on the planet. It's happening. The prophecy is being fulfilled. That's first. Secondly, the only reason why Isa alayhi salam is coming back, it's not for some rapture. It's because his followers, he's the only prophet that Allah has ever sent whose followers have worshipped him. Period. So he's coming back to do exactly what it says in your scripture, to say, flee from me. I know you not. That's what we're going to tell you. I don't know who you are. I don't know any of the stuff you've assigned to me. I don't know you. Move out of my face, miss. You see? Aziza. Monica Bell. Oh, you're talking to Monica. So, there are mosques in El Paso, lots of Muslims all over. Yeah, there is. I know that even. If you'd ever be interested in talking, I'd be more than happy to chat with you. I'm a revert, so I can relate to some different things in that regard. That's very, very kind of you, Aziza. May Allah give you the ajr for that. Allahu Akbar. I had a real bad experience with church and left it more spiritual now. Appreciate your offer. I haven't made up my mind. No, Monica, you're going to make up your mind right now, and here's why. Because I'm spiritual. That goes right out the window. I'm giving you tough love right now. And I think you'll agree with this when you hear what I'm going to say. You can't be spiritual without connecting to the divine. Because we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. So what does that mean? You must acknowledge the divine in order to even have to say I'm spiritual, because where does that come from? I did a whole video called What is African Spirituality? Because I was tired of my people saying this, that when I tell them that most of the slaves brought here to these shores were Muslims. And then I go on to say that, of course, we knew of the prophet Jesus before we came here. He'd already been known by then, and he'd lived and died. Of course we knew he was. We just didn't know him in this context, that they sold to us and blah, 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 blah. All right, fine. So I was saying that, and then you always hear black people say, well, they was mostly doing African spirituality, though. Well, I break that down in that video because I was over it. Like, what does that mean? And it's usually just an escape route, like, okay, I don't have to acknowledge this. There's just something otherly that's just, woo, and I can just know. You cannot be spiritual without acknowledging the divine. You must. You must. And by the way, you're saying you haven't made up your mind yet. You just articulated to me a few minutes ago all the health issues that you have, Monica. Now is the time. You don't have time. But I would say that to you even if you were in perfect health. Because Allah says to us, which you know this anyway, the next minute is not guaranteed to us, even with the healthiest person on earth. There is no time. Now is the time. Now. And if you believe that there is at least one God, and you believe that Muhammad is his messenger, that he is a prophet from Allah, then you can at least make Shahada. Because if you were only Muslim up to 14, you probably never took Shahada on your own anyway. You can take Shahada. You understand? You can still take Shahada. At some point before you leave this earth, you're going to need to say, La ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. You're going to need to say that. You're going to need to. I suggest to you that this, your whole presence here today is for you. It's for you. Allah has sent you to hear this. I believe that. Aziza, Monica, I understand completely. Not trying to convert you. We don't do that. Exactly. Just letting you know if you ever want more information. I do acknowledge the divine. There is no other. Okay, you're there. You're there. You're there. You're there. You're there. So I just, you said you had a bad experience with Christianity. That's like, we should all write books on that. Of course you're gonna have a bad experience because that is not from the divine. It's a nightmare. Holiness and righteousness does not exist there. Are there some good Christians? Yes, but I don't know them. You know. And, it's almost ironic. You're almost better if somebody is just not Christian. It's almost like it spoils them. It ruins them in a way. It's like if you can't be Muslim, then don't go be Christian. Whatever you do, you'll ruin yourself. But I'm just trying to say that that bad experience was something social, and, as quiet as it's kept, across the earth, we as African people have issues with Arab Muslims. Racism exists. You understand? It just does. But I just offer that to say that there's an experience, but that has nothing to do with Islam. You see? It just doesn't. Because I will slay their ass into a grave the same way I will the white devil. And I call them out the same way as I do the white devil. Period. When they're like, no, brother, it's not as... No, it is, and I know what it is. And I get very loud and right in their face and let them know, I'm not here. Not here. Not here. And there will be no hiding. Because I'm the one that likes to point to the one that farts. Remember. So, don't let... So your experience would have been social, but also the doctrine does not lead anywhere. It doesn't lead anywhere. There's no way of life there. It's just fake good feeling and give us money. And by the way, not to insult you at all, because this is just of your own ignorance that you're not even aware of. There is no speaking in tongues, Monica. There isn't. There's no such thing as speaking in tongues. What there is of speaking in tongues is what the Jedi does. I speak Arabic, I speak Spanish, I speak English. But that's not all I speak. You put me in in a rest home with senior citizens, I chameleon into their level. You put me in a room with kids, I'm at their level. You put me in a Fortune 500 boardroom, boom, my vocabulary, my business acumen comes out, and my business degree and all of it. That's speaking in tongues. Be able to reach people wherever they are on whatever intellectual level they're at, or wherever their energy is, wherever their spirit is. I can do that. I have that gift. I'm just as comfortable with my contemporaries as I am with somebody that's 100 years older than me. And on and on and on. There's no speaking in tongues. All that that's nonsense. Nothing holy going on there. In fact, I was around some Christians, several years ago. And I was having some talk. And I just recited Fatiha, the opening surah of the Quran. And they was like, ooh, that sounds like speaking in tongues. They're not the first people that told me that. I'll do Fatiha for you. So I won't chant it. I'll just say it. Because it's proper to chant or sing the Quran. But I will just say it. So you can know what their experience was. I did just this. I said, I'll recite Fatiha for you all. And I said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Ar-Rahmanir rahim. Malik yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. And they're like, that sounds like speaking in tongues. So anybody can come up with some shakala, 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 shakala. I just spoke divine Arabic, revealed from the one who created us all. There's no merit in that speaking in tongues stuff, Monica. Nothing. That's the devil dwells there. There's no speaking in tongues. That's a Christian construct, and it's nonsense and it's garbage. I have to tell it. Nothing, no value in speaking in tongues. Nothing happening. Nothing happening. And sadly, they believe that. It's always some hocus pocus magic act with Christian folks. No. You pray in the name of the one who creates. And that's who you speak to. There's no speaking in tongues. Shout out to Chris Randolph. Hey Jedi, I've been a fan of yours for going on 3 years now. I'm just now tuning in, but you're amazing. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for that, Chris. I'm deeply honored. Yeah, there's no speaking in tongues. You know, and there's no waiting. You need to get about the business now. But you got to get you out of the way. Your pursuit must be the truth. Because as long as you stay in the middle of it, you're only just going to go where you are making yourself go. You can't do that. Your intent must be to get you completely out of the way. Completely. And it would be helpful too if you go on YouTube. And I even did a video here on the channel of people who converted to Islam. And I tell you a million times, I know Christians who have become Muslim because they were only looking for the truth. They were only interested in the truth. And if you read that damn Bible with pure intention, the only place you end up is in a mosque with the Quran and Islam. That's where you end up, because there's so many things in there that are sending you directly to Islam. You can't have one without the other one. When Isa alayhi salam, the son of Mary, came, his first words was proclaiming himself to be a messenger from Allah and to bring the good news of the one who would come after him. Period. That's the first miracle of Jesus that no Christian knows. You ask, say, what's the first miracle of Jesus? They start giving you water, wine, stone to bread, walking on water, healing it, no. The prophecy of his birth was that he would speak as an infant and as an adult. Isn't it more likely that the Muslim is right when we have the birth of Christ and then his whole life is just sort of missing until he's 33? Go watch Jesus of Nazareth. And he'll show up at 12 years old, something like that, in the synagogue, reading Torah, and nothing really going on. Then he's 33. Oh my God! And that's when everybody really wants to see the movie, because they go into that Wizard of Oz story, where he's coming in and behold, Lazarus come forth, and all the other nonsense, and I'm over it. So our story should be obviously the filler in for that. He spoke as an infant. When Mary came back alone with the child, Allah took her voice, made her catatonic. And the infant, just as the prophecy said, spoke, proclaiming himself to be a messenger from Allah and to bring the good news of the one who will come after him. You're John 16. You're Deuteronomy 18:18. You're Psalms of Solomon. You're Ezekiel. I mean, we could go on. He's in your book. He's in your book. He's in your book. Ezekiel says, or Isaiah says, The book. Because remember, Jesus didn't bring no book. Isaiah. Go read your Isaiah. It says the book will be given to the one who will say, I cannot read. The book will be given to the one who will say, I cannot read. He's literally, Isaiah is telling you the prophecy of the moment that the Quran begins to be revealed, long before it ever happens. And what is the story of the revelation of the Quran? When the angel Jibreel comes to the prophet in his 40th year of life, backing up Deuteronomy 18:18 and John 14:26. Anyways, when Allah speaks to Moses saying, I will raise up from among them a prophet like unto you, Moses, from their brethren. So it's fulfilling that. But here it is, the angel Jibreel comes to the prophet at 40 years of age, because Moses was 40. All right? We're going to get to that. But when the angel says, Ikra bismi rabbika ladhi khalaqah, read in the name of your Lord who creates. And the prophet, being illiterate, says, I can't read. But he can speak. Because, illiterate people, like Fantasia. Remember Fantasia couldn't read, but that means she was a mute. She could still speak and make sense if she knew what she was talking about. So this was the issue with the prophet. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But there's Isaiah coming true right there. I can't read. What are you saying to me? I can't read. Then the prophet realizes Ikra didn't just mean read. It also means recite and repeat. Right, recite, repeat, read. Ikra bismi rabbika ladhi khalaqah. This is Isaiah coming true right there. Done. You see, the book will be given to the one who will say, I cannot read. Then it speaks about the unlettered prophet in your scripture. I know the scripture. I've told you guys, don't get me started. I know it. But why I know it is because that's why I'm a Muslim. Because I was able to verify this stuff for myself. There's no question. That's why I can speak so firmly and convicted against the Christian doctrine, especially for African people. Because I know absolutely that is some nonsense and does not lead you to your maker and does not lead to paradise. Just doesn't lead there. Just doesn't. So now is the time, Monica, my sister. Now is the time. Now is the time. It's not about being on a team. This is about, oh, y'all, my battery's too hot on this other phone. It's literally giving me a warning, like, you need to watch out. So, shout out to 40 Shorty. Been a minute. Black Beauty. In the Bible, God regretted He made man. Jedi, does Allah also regret? No. But you just provoked a second part to this live stream now, Black Beauty. I love you for that. Thank you. No, Allah does not regret. I'm going to go deeper. But this one was supposed to be about Ramadan. Chris Randolph, hey Jedi, okay, I did read that. Okay. Aziza, it's either fake or jinn. Yeah, and I have a whole video here on the channel called The Jinn. The Jedi does his work. It's all here, everybody. I've said to you guys, go back and watch my body of work. Just go through and find little jewels. I mean, my stuff is all, I stand behind all my work. Go and just find the ones that stand out to you and just watch. Just watch, because I am the sum total of my work, of my complete body of work. I'm not just one live stream or one video. I'm the sum total of my body of work. You understand? So, only because this phone is heating up and because we've been on for 2 hours, I'm going to stop here. It's really not that late. Black Beauty, I could come back in an hour, maybe. I really want to get into that because first of all, I love when you guys ask questions, you know, because then I know what's in your mind and what I'm communicating, and I get to answer you back, you know. So, but the short answer is no. Allah does not regret creating mankind. Um, Thank you, Felipe, on that. Oh, and Felipe, I appreciate you. I forget what message you left. I'll have to read your comment again. Anyways, but it was good, and it was like I have a rebuttal and something I wanted to add and something else. But anyways, I got your. I'll do it in my next stream, God willing, inshallah. Um, uh, okay, so um, that's what didn't I cover? I think I covered everything about Ramadan, everybody. I think I did do that. Um, Last thing I'll say. There's another video that's here on the channel. You all should be writing this stuff down when I tell you there's a video here on the channel. There's a video here on the channel. There's a video here on the channel. Well, there's another video here on the channel called 1.8 or 1 billion people did this today. What did you do? It was last year or the year before. It was the end of Ramadan. And I was showing you the prayers from around the world. How consistent our way of life is. Like, I'm watching somebody in India and I can tell you what they're about to do next, what they're about to say next. I know it all. Like, if this is what's going to happen, this is it. But not just me. Any Muslim would be able to do that. Done. This would be also germane on this topic too, for you to go and see that, because I am talking about Ramadan in that video, and I'm showing some of the rituals and the customs. I show you the holy city of Mecca and the prayers. Man, I'm telling y'all, my people, you're just missing out. You just are. You know, it's kind of like, y'all know me, just being an honest man, I'll just tell it. This is like as if you over there eating dry oatmeal and I'm eating goat. No shade to your oatmeal, just like that. This is just better. Like, this is the goat. You should really come over here and get some of this goat. Like, you really should. And these black beans and rice, you just should. Actually, it would be jollof rice. Thank you very much. Which your boy can fix. Thank you, please. Because I told you I've been starting to cook African dishes. So when I moved to Africa, I already eat like an African. But this is that for me. Like, there's no contest. Like, my people are just missing out. You just are. You just are. You just are. So, I'm gonna go. Um, you see what I just did right? It's a habit. You see what I just did right? I'm yawning, and I was like, when I was yawning, I was like, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim." That we do that when we yawn. If you sneeze, I'm gonna say Yamakallah. You understand? We have, I mean, just everything we do in life that we have. It's if I stand when I stand up, I'm gonna say Allahu Akbar. When I sit down, I'm gonna say Alhamdulillah. Like it's so many things that we're doing. It's part of our way of life. It's just what we do. It's just what we do. If I meet you, if I'm talking to you, I will never offer you my left hand because this is what I wash my dingling with and what I wipe my booty with and everything else. This is the clean hand. Do you understand? We eat with our right hand. We do everything with our right hand. This is the good hand. Turns out that's African culture. Go talk to any Africans and try and give them your left hand. They will look at you like you're crazy. But, oh my God, turns out it's Islam. Did not see that coming. So, Monica, I'm deeply touched by you. I'm definitely going to be continue to keep you in my prayers, my sister. You got to pray too. You have to believe. But you have to know that all healing and all power is with Allah. It's not with doctors. It's not with medicine. It's not with anything. It's with Allah. It's between you and Allah. You come into this world alone and you're leaving alone. You will face your maker alone. That's just real. And it's going to be true whether I say it or not. It just is. It just is. By the way, random. This is so random, you guys. I almost wore my white garment. Couldn't light it sitting here. Couldn't light it. Because it made somehow the technology in this camera, my face just looked like it was covered in just craters. And I already noticed that on some of my videos, I have blemishes on my face that I don't have on my face. I look in my mirror, I see me, I know, but I don't know if this, I don't know, maybe that's the HD of it. I'm over it. Anyways, Allah has blessed me with very good skin, and I'm grateful, you know. But I had to. I was like, nah, this is not working, and because I seen it back, I'm like, nah, I can't. And my eyes look jacked up. I just looked like, nah, don't. And I wish I could have worn that for you, but anyways, I had to go black. So it's random, but I just wanted to share that with you all. So, to all of you who had asked for this topic and for me to do a dissertation on Ramadan, I pray Allah that I have answered any of your curiosities and questions. And if you have more, please be, feel free to leave those in the comments. Because I do go back and read stuff after we're done, because sometimes I miss stuff in the stream, in the comments, or either, and not only that, then also comments start coming in on just regular comments, because after we're not live no more. And I tell you guys I read everything. I don't want people to ever feel like they watch my work and then I'm just not reading your comments. Nah, I'm here for you. Like, if you type something, I'm gonna read it. I just will. You can always be assured of that. You can always be assured of that. Always be assured of that. Anyways, so if you have some questions that maybe you didn't think of right now and they come to you later, just know that you can just type them and I will read them. And that's the way it will be. So I'm getting off now. Yeah. I love you guys all. And yeah, that's everybody. I was stalling in case maybe one more comment came in, like, last minute. Okay, I'm done. All right, you guys. I will see you back. Black Beauty has provoked another conversation. I will get into that in my next piece. So today is Sunday. I'm glad alhamdulillah, I tried to come at just the right time, where it's kind of the best time across all the country. It's not too late or too early for anybody at the time that we started. And I feel really good about that. So I did my part. I did what I could do, and that's what's most important. Um, Inshallah, I will begin to speak to you again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. Did you make any commitments for tomorrow, Jedi? I have one commitment tomorrow, but that's brief and windblown. Um, yeah. So probably tomorrow. I see something that I'm not seeing on here. I see stuff popping up, but I don't see anything. But it's not on here. I am seeing. I'm not on Instagram. See, I'm seeing Monica's comment. I'm seeing stuff that's not on here, y'all. I'm seeing stuff from Corindle, Felipe, about the move to Africa. How come I'm not seeing none of that on here? They are the devil. Y'all, I'm seeing stuff on here that I'm not seeing on these comments right here. I'm looking at the chat right here. You understand? But the stuff that's popping up on my screen on here is not what's on here. This ends at Felipe's last comment of "Love you, Jedi." I didn't see none of this of Corindle, Chris Randolph, and these are harder to read because they're on the screen. You understand? So I can't. Damn, y'all. Okay, that I recognize. Hey, Jedi. Alright, let's see. Hey, brother. Love you, Jedi. Black Beauty. If Allah. Oh, okay, that was that. Oh, no. I didn't see this one, Black Beauty. If Allah regrets that, implies he is flawed. Right. Aziza was saying that to Black Beauty. See, I don't have none of that. You see me? I mean, I can't, y'all. Let me go out, completely out of the app and come back and see if it shows up because this is really concerning right now. I know this is something white that's happening. That I don't have to know what it is. I just know there is something white happening right here. There's some evil hand behind this. That we know. That's known. Just like every time I do a live stream, I get like maybe 20, 30 people. As soon as the live stream finishes, suddenly we're up to 400 views. Like, what happened? You mean to tell me none of my 3,500 people see my stream? None of them, not none of them none of them have the alerts on. Nobody knows. You see what I'm saying? The white man is the devil. Period. That's what's real. And everything they do is devilish and evil. Period. All right, here's the rest of it, which I refreshed and I still didn't see it, but now I'm seeing it. I can't. Um, but no, I'm not on Instagram, Chris. Um, okay, Monica, all my best to you, and I'm so glad you were able to be a part of this, and inshallah, you'll be able to be a part of, any of the other ones coming forward. I always want to hear from you. You know, like I'm not letting you off the hook. I want to know what's going on with you, And I also, most importantly, want to know that you're well, you know. Um, I think I got everybody. All right. Yeah. And it's also, uh, I believe it's prayer time also, everybody. Um, Subhanallah. Oh no, that's AM. I would say it's that time in 10 minutes. Anyways, I know it's nearly prayer time. This I know. So I'm gonna go. Um, um, the hardest thing for me is naming a video and ending a video. You want to just say, okay, bye, done. Then you're also trying to think of, was there something else I meant to communicate? And it's the whole thing with me, man. I can't. Easiest thing to do is to just say, I'll see you soon. I love you guys all. Thank you for coming and being part of the stream. And like I said, if you have more questions about Ramadan or just Islam in general, always holler at your boy on that, everybody, because I am a Muslim, and it's the greatest foundation of everything that I am in life, and I want that same thing for my people. But we'll get more into that because we're still in the holy month. There'll be more things to discuss. I think I will start with Black Beauty's topic when I come back again. And my intent is to speak tomorrow, somewhere around in this same window. If not, then inshallah we'll be together on Tuesday. I love you guys all. I'll see you soon. Assalamu alaikum.